Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about negativity and how negativity is a major liability. A lot of times we take on negativity, we do negative things because we think that it's an asset. We like to puff up, we like to boast, we like to threaten. We like to make claims about ourselves and about others that make us feel good. We like to oppress, we like to wrong. And our human nature makes us think that we're going to somehow fulfill our inner needs by being negative and projecting negativity into the world. And nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, it has the opposite effect, in that the more negative we are, the more negativity we invite into our lives. And so we become caught in a thought loop, even though many times we think that we are doing what's right and that we're doing what is necessary. I'm just going to adjust the camera a bit. So, when we talk about, negativity, I said negativity is a liability. Sometimes we think it's an asset. And so in money and finance, you have assets and liabilities. You have deposits and withdrawals. And unless you start to really think about what you're depositing into your soul, into your mind, into your emotions, and what you're withdrawing, you are always going to be at a deficit or in debt. Now, what do I mean in deficit? In deficit means that I've got some money coming in later, so I'm going to spend now, and then when that money comes in later, I'll pay that off, right? So if you're spending from future capital coming in, you're in a deficit because you got money to cover it. If you're spending and you don't have any money at all, then you're in debt. And a lot of times, what we do is we put ourselves at such a deficit that we push ourselves into debt, character-wise, morality-wise. And so we end up broke spiritually, mentally, emotionally, morally. Not even, these principles, they go across, they're cross-discipline, multidisciplinary principles. And this idea of being in spiritual deficit and or debt was mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ. Hadith is narrated in Sahih Muslim, that he said to his companions, I don't remember the Sahabi who narrated it, but he said to his companions, Atadruna man al-muflis? Do you know who the broke person is? Do you know who the debtor is? Not the debtor, but the broke person. Al-muflis, man aflasa. He has nothing. قالوا من لا درهم له ولا دينار ولا متاع. O Messenger of Allah, it's the person who has no gold coin, no silver coin, and he has no material wealth, has no stuff, has no property. قال المفلس من أمتي من أتى يوم القيامة وقد سب هذا وشتم هذا وأخذ مال هذا وسفك دم هذا. The broke person from my ummah is the person who comes on the day of judgment and they've cursed this person and insulted that person and hit this person and taken the money of that person. And so they come on the day of judgment in that state. فيعطى أو فيعطون من حسناته أو فيعطي هذا حسناته ويعطي هذا حسناته. That's the lafz of the hadith. He gives this person his good deeds and that person his good deeds حتى إذا فنيت, until his good deeds are depleted. طرحت عليه من خطاياهم, then their bad deeds will be thrown on him. فطرح في النار, and then he'll be thrown in the hellfire. This person who spent all their energy putting negativity in the world, cursing people, speaking bad about people, false accusations, backbiting, tail carrying, physical aggression, all of these things, stealing, all of these things are moral infractions and criminal acts at times, definitely all moral infractions, and they deplete your soul of its spiritual bank of wealth. And so unless you are investing in your heart, unless you are making deposits into your spiritual bank of wealth, you will be running at a deficit and you may go into debt. And so while most of us say, well, I'm not doing those things that are in the hadith, right? I'm a good person. We all like to assume that. In reality, we all do it in some way or another. And what this hadith is also telling us is that to not become spiritually broke, you have to preserve your good deeds. You have to preserve your good deeds. You don't want to be giving your good deeds away to people freely, because those are gifts that you're giving away and they're going to take, and you're going to have no choice but to give them on the day of judgment. And so, it's important that we always look at what we're consuming and what we are expending. A young man, I believe it's the hadith of Shakil radiyallahu anhu in al-Bukhari's Adab al-Mufrad. Adab al-Mufrad is a very unique book by al-Bukhari. Bukhari radiyallahu anhu wa rahimahu, he wrote al-Adab al-Mufrad. It's all about etiquette. And the ahadith of al-Adab al-Mufrad are less sahih than the al-Jami' al-Sahih, but more authentic, more sahih than the ones that are in the Sunan, which is really fascinating. Bukhari Jihbeth, he's really a genius. So in the hadith of Shakil, that's mentioned in al-Adab al-Mufrad, that a young man, he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked him for a dua that would protect him. And he said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri sam'i wa sharri basari wa sharri fu'adi wa min sharri manihi. Say, O Allah, I seek refuge in you in the evil of my ears, and the evil of my eyes, and the evil of my heart, and the evil of my libido. And you can check on the phrase of the hadith. Why the ears, the eyes, the heart, and libido? Because these are the things that we consume. These are the means by which we consume. We think, we just hear things and see things. We can be in contact with absolutely no one and still be busied in our heart and still be busied in our libido. We can still be struggling emotionally and struggling sexually. Desires and all that. So, to build your spiritual bank, you have to protect. You got to make deposits. Number one, make a plan for deposits. Number two, make sure you're not making withdrawals. Don't give away free money. Don't give away free money. and make every dollar count. It's another budgeting thing. Give every dollar a purpose. Give every minute a purpose. Give every act a purpose. And by that, you'll, inshallah ta'ala, be able to build something. And I said something on Instagram today that, after a lot of negativity lately, I've noticed in my own life that when I'm consuming from social media, that I get really down. But when I'm putting out into social media, then, and I'm using it as the tool that it is, then I feel a lot better. When I'm doing nothing at home, I feel down. When I jump on the rower, when I hit the bar, I feel good. And so making deposits in your physical health can help you get out of that emotional and spiritual rut that will then fuel your ability to even do more things which are emotionally healthy and spiritually healthy. So I said to myself, you know what, I resolve that I'm not going to take my spiritual fulfillment, spiritual fuel from an emotional fuel from social media anymore. I will use it as a source to put out positivity into the world and not allow it to be the thing that deducts from my bank of spiritual wealth. Because it's really easy to be on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and all these other apps, and to see that people are liking and disliking. Are they engaging? They're not engaging. Are they talking bad about you? Are they not talking bad about you? Are they praising you? Are they not praising you? And you start to want to anticipate that. You get a high off of that. And what it does is it makes you read too much into everything that everyone's saying and everything they're not saying. And so you start expending emotional and spiritual wealth on assumptions. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِنَ الظَّنِّ إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ. O you who believe, avoid most forms of assumption, because much of assumption, or some assumption, is sinful. So, people they say, there's a friend today, he was saying that, some people only follow him just to crap on him, or just to, excuse the word, just to say bad things about him. And I started thinking about it. You know what? You could have like 99 people like a post, and then one person dislikes it, or likes something that's against it, and then it ruins your day. Why does it ruin your day? Because the pin to your spiritual ATM has been stolen, and you've allowed others to use you for their own negative spiritual and negative emotional withdrawals. So there's some people, they're loan sharks, they're spiritual loan sharks. They feed off of downing on other people and ranting and raving and getting on people's cases. And like a loan shark, they're sitting around going, yeah, this person owes me this much and this person owes me this much. They don't really have that much money. They're just flipping debt, right? They're flipping debt and putting you into an extraordinarily high interest rate and saying to you, well, you can pay me $10. So, in the spiritual, emotional world, you're giving them that little bit of attention, that little bit of obeisance, and they think that they're the king of the world because they're getting $10 a month. Meanwhile, you could be doing something, reading a verse of the Quran, reading a book that's beneficial, working out, sitting with your kids, sitting with your spouse, visiting your parents, and you could be making $100 an hour spiritually instead of paying $10 an hour spiritually. So it's something that you really have to think about. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, I posted this the other day. It's in the Sunan ad-Darimi, that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said, وَمَا يَمْنَعُ أَحَدُكُمْ إِذَا رَجَعَ مِنْ سُوقِهِ أَوْ قَضَاءِ حَاجَتِهِ إِذْ جَلَسَ عَلَى فِرَاشِهِ أَنْ يَقْرَأَ ثَلَاثَ آيَاتٍ مِنْ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. What prevents one of you, when he gets back from the store or from taking care of his business, and he sits down on his couch to read 3 verses of the Quran? Invest in your spiritual and emotional and physical health. Make sure that they feed into each other. Make sure that you stay positive. Make sure that you don't allow people that they themselves are spiritual loan sharks who are functionally broke but feeding off of the blood, the spiritual blood of the community. Don't feed into those people, and don't yourself end up spiritually broke in this life or in the day of judgment. But make sure that you are spiritually wealthy, spiritually healthy, and that inshallah ta'ala will fuel your physical as well as your financial health. I think we're about 16 minutes now, so I'm going to cut it off here. Just wanted to put this out for you guys. Hope that you benefited. Inshallah ta'ala, drop some more of this later. Assalamu alaikum.